Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Locker Room Report, brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System. I'm Brady Beedon, joined as always by head coach Tyrone Wheatley. Coach, let's first talk about the game against Tiffin. Tough start to the season, a fairly lopsided loss. What did you take out of the result against the Dragons?
Well, defensively, those guys played well. Our defense played well. Just can't leave that rubber on the road too long. If you do, you lose some tread, and that's what happened with them. Quarterback play really is what hurt us, and those guys understand and they know it. The offensive line looks like they gave up sacks, but the quarterback can't hold on the ball too long. He has to get the ball out of his hand, and it's just a little bit of deer in the headlights still. I don't know if it was pregame jitters or first-game jitters, but when we came back, we turned the film on. Everything was the way it was called. Coach JC called a good game. Our running backs, when we had a chance to run, they ran the ball. I mean, Bentley is pretty big horse back there. I mean, he can go, So then, switching Tyus back there, he's another good change-up pace for us. But the thing was, we just didn't stay on the field offensively.
Mm-hmm. So I do want to talk about that defense a bit, because if you just look at the schedule or just look at the schedule page, see you gave up 30-plus points. A little misleading because you did force a couple turnovers. One of the touchdowns was a punt return. What and who defensively really stood out to you, and when you talked to Coach Robinson on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, we're going to start with our front seven, but when we talk about the front seven, you're going to talk about the two inside guys. Mm-hmm. My I call him Trello, and Logan, which I call Baby Thor, McGraw. But those two guys are the heart and soul of this. And you talk about the fumble, the two fumbles really by Logan really sparked those things, and that's something he practices. And we always talk about you fall to the level of your preparation. You don't rise to the occasion. And that's his preparation every single day. I mean, he loves it, and so does Montreal. He practices every day. Every day is a sack for him. No matter what he does is a sack, but that's how he practices it, and he puts it in his mind, and that's how he goes out and he practices. So when you talk about that back end, that's where it is. And then the great addition with Wendell Smith from Eastern, he's an incredible addition. Then one of the young guys that I love and watching him grow and kind of take on a new personality to this spring was Maximus Edwards. Mm-hmm. I mean, he came out and he did some really good things. And then just solid up front, just really solid up front.
So let's talk about the quarterback position, because you did make a couple of changes and some pretty quick ones at that. You didn't wait around. What was the conversation like on the sideline, and what was the thought process of, hey, we need to make the change here basically at the end of the first quarter and then right at halftime, eventually settling on champion? What was the conversation like on the sideline and really your own thought process?
Well, here's the deal. It's kind of crazy. Because Champ didn't look like Champ during the camp. Mm-hmm. Like that was so totally like Camp going into camp was just not the guy we thought he was going to be coming from last year. We thought he was going to come in and grow. He had a great camp. A great spring, but we thought he was going to carry over from the spring, carry it into the camp, and it just didn't happen that way. Siri, on the other hand, look to do all the things, and we use the term, just get on base. And he was a guy who would just get us on base, and then, if we end up hitting a sacrifice fly, which was a field goal for us, you still get a guy home, right? Mm-hmm. But then that didn't happen for us, and same thing with Cox. But at the end of the day, those moments had to happen. But as these guys are making these mistakes, you're coaching the other quarterback up and asking him, do you see what's going on? Can you see it? Are you there with me? And it just seems like Champ at that point in time was really right there along with me. And as we got out there and we had a chance to go, he was able to see it and go do it.
Here with head coach Tyrone Wheatley ahead of the Week 2 matchup against Findlay. And you told our friend Tony Ortiz at the end of the Tiffin game, Champion's getting to start this week against Findlay at quarterback. I'm guessing that's still the case. And what are you expecting out of Champion here in Week 2?
Well, like I say, nothing different. The biggest thing is, and I know Cam Newton is going to argue with this, I don't want you to win the game. Just manage it, right? Mm-hmm. Just manage it. The best quarterbacks, collegiately, high school, and in the pro, they manage the game. And I just like going back to the term, just get me on base, right? Just give me the first down, and then just give me on the base. We can hit a double, and we can move from that point on. But if you're trying to go home runs or you're trying to win it, we're going to continue to have our defense on the field, and that's what I'm looking for Champ.
First road game of the season, heading down to Findlay to take on the Oilers. They had a really nice win in week one, knocking off a UIndy team that we've been very familiar with over the last couple of years. 38-35 win for Findlay in that one. What can you tell the people at home listening about Findlay and what you can expect in this matchup?
Well, a Coach Allen team is always going to be a very, very superb and detailed, disciplined team. I mean, the grit, the fight that they have, they're just going to continue to go. That team is a team that really, really tests your endurance, and they're going to test your heart and your resolve. And so that right there is a testament to the coach and staff and also the players. Quarterback play, I think he was 14 of 19. He's going to basically be real patient and persistent. Once again, going back to the word persistent. He's not going to do anything outside of his talent range. He's just going to do it. And they have two really nice running backs. They have a good 1-2 punch, big back that's going to go in there and plug it up. But the main guy, man, he's slippery. He can get it going. And then defensively up front, they're stout in front, right? They're really stout up front. Very veteran group on the back end, and the linebacker core is solid.
Coach, last question for you. Who's a name that if Sean and I are saying it a lot against Findlay, you're going to have success? Who are some guys that if they step up, it'll be a fun bus ride home celebrating a Warrior victory?
Well, the two guys that I mentioned earlier be Logan McGraw and Montreal Williams, right? Those two, they've already stepped it up. They just got to continue to raise their level. Champion Edwards, Devon Bentley, Xavier Tyus, and Hickmont has been a pleasant. I wouldn't say surprise because there's no surprise in him, but he's been a pleasant addition. So we need him, and then Tuggle. Tuggle also is a guy he's our silent assassin, right? But we have to get the balls in his hands a little bit more. But those names right there, and our front four on defense, all of those guys, the rotation of them up that's going. So, it's going to be a group effort.
Coach, I appreciate it as always. Good luck against Findlay.
Thank you very much.
He's head coach Tyrone Wheatley. I'm Brady Beedon, and you're listening to Wayne State Football here on the Warrior Sports Network.